Okay, welcome everyone to the January Member Forum, also known as the Cedar Fever edition of the TDL Member Forum. Please excuse me if I sound a little croaky today. We're glad you're here and that you've joined us to hear a little bit about what's going on with TDL this month. As I said, my name is Kristi Park and I'm the Director of TDL, and I'm joined today by Alex Suarez, our Conference Planner, and DeForest, our Communications Manager, as well as a couple of our members who will share some announcements in our Community Update section. Courtney, Mumma, our Deputy Director, is traveling today and couldn't be with us, so I'm going to handle her updates. A couple of reminders as we start the meeting today. If you have questions, please feel free to use the chat window to ask those, and we'll answer them as we have a moment. You can also download the slides from today's presentation in the Files pod at the bottom of the screen. And as I said, we are recording this, so you'll be able to access it on TDL's YouTube channel later on after we've had a chance to caption it. I'm going to start, we'll follow our usual agenda. I'm going to start with some updates on a few things, important updates and news, and then we will have some service and project updates on DSpace, OJS, and our IMLS planning grant, and then a series of community updates, including on our new imaging group that just is underway. And then we'll have some time at the end for Q&A. Okay, so we have completed our member visits for this year with our final visit to Texas Tech this month. So member visits, check. We've checked that off the list. We visited each of our regular members over the past year, and we're looking forward to sharing a full report with you on this member census tour later this spring. As I said, we visited Texas Tech, or Courtney did, this month, and just before the break, Leah and I visited at Angelo State University out in San Angelo. These have been, as we've said before, really valuable and fun visits for us, and we really appreciate the graciousness and hospitality of each of our members as they've met with us and spent a good bit of time with us talking about their needs and goals. Along these lines, TDL is also asking each member institution in our consortium to complete a member survey, and we've extended the deadline for the survey to January 20th. I have sent emails and reminders to each member director or dean and asked that they forward onto your teams and deliver a response as a single voice for the library, so one survey per institution. And we are seeking to collect data from each member institution on our services, on our professional development and training, outreach and promotion, and our community engagement efforts. We'll be using this aggregate data to work with our staff and our board on service development and strategic planning. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out to me. If you have a question about whether your institution has already submitted your survey response, you can ask that and we'll let you know. But if you haven't heard anything about this at your institution, it might be a good idea to reach out and see if you've received the survey and how you want to go about sending in a response. We would love to hear from every one of our members. Next up, a couple of important deadlines that are coming up very soon. So first of all, our call for proposals for the Texas Conference on Digital Libraries is open, and the deadline for those proposals is January 24th, which is right around the corner. We hope to see proposals this year that detail projects that maybe didn't go as planned, for better or worse, that address particular aspects of project management or point us in new directions for digital collections and infrastructure. And we encourage presenters to consider sharing past successes as well as failures that led to unexpected solutions or advice that might benefit the community. And if you're looking for ways to collaborate, we have the committee has set up a collaboration station spreadsheet so that you can work across institutions on presentations, workshops, panels, and other kinds of sessions. Leah's going to post a link to that spreadsheet in chat, and I hope you'll all kind of take a look at that and see if there's anything that interests you there, or if you want to propose something and see if there's interest among the community for a cross-institutional presentation. Second, I want to remind everybody to nominate yourselves or a colleague or group of colleagues for a TDL award. Anyone who contributes to digital scholarship or the preservation, management, or access of digital content is eligible for these awards, and nominees and nominators do not need to be from TDL member institutions. This is a way to broaden our outreach and build our community among academic libraries and cultural heritage institutions in Texas. I really encourage you to participate and think about your colleagues or work that you've done over the past year that you would like to see recognized with a TDL award. You can learn more about the different award categories and apply at tdl.org/awards. And the deadline for those nominations is February 15th. Okay, next up we'll do some services and projects updates, starting with an update on our journal hosting service. We continue to make progress on our upgrades to all our hosted journals to OJS version 3. You can see in the chart on the right-hand side here a little bit of a status update on all of our 83 journals. We have fully completed the upgrades to 24 journals. Those journals are now operating in production in OJS version 3. And we have another 21 that are in various stages of engagement with the upgrade process. We've identified 14 journals so far that we need to sunset as part of this project, and then there are another 24 that are not yet in progress. So we're making progress. We have hit a little bump in the road and have been delayed the past couple of weeks as we troubleshoot some issues with journals that have been upgraded, and so we want to get those issues resolved, both for the journals that have been upgraded and for the future upgrades, to make sure there aren't widespread problems. So we're taking a breath here to troubleshoot and resolve some issues before we move on to the next batch of upgrades. So far we've been working with Texas State, University of Houston, A&M, and Sam Houston State on journal upgrades. Those are the ones we're kind of troubleshooting and getting set before we move on, and next up is Texas Tech. So we'll be reaching out to those journal managers. We're hoping next week if we can get the current issues resolved. Secondly, with OJS, I just wanted to note the launch of the new user group, which we're calling the OJS user group, chaired by Alexa Height at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. This group is made up of the library liaisons who manage the service locally for each of our member institutions who subscribe to the service. And we're using it as a way to enhance communication between TDL and these library managers, but also as a way to share knowledge and do some collaborative work on the journal service. So the group has only met twice. We're just kind of getting started and identifying our priorities for the coming year, but we're hopeful that's going to be a really valuable thing for our journal users, and we're really appreciative to Alexa for helping us launch this new group for our members. And third, I just briefly wanted to note here a link to some documentation in our wiki related to open access journals. In case you haven't seen it or didn't know it was there, there is some information there about the hosting service itself and some information for end users of the OJS software. Next service update, we had a little bit of news about DSpace that we wanted to share related to usage statistics. So in an effort to improve the accuracy and reliability of usage statistics, we've installed the official list of web crawler robots maintained by Project Counter across all of our hosted DSpace repositories. This means that starting this month, the usage stats coming from known robots on the list will not be counted in your regular repository statistics. This has been a long-standing issue with usage stats where we have inflated statistics because we're counting lots of crawlers and robots out there that are just crawling sites. Counter provides the code of practice that enables publishers and vendors to report usage of their electronic resources in a consistent way. And so we're wanting to use this standardized list of robots so that it's comparable, the usage stats are comparable to other e-resources. As you can imagine, the impacts of adding the crawler agent list to the repositories is a little hard to predict, but repository managers are likely to see a reduction in usage stats as a result of this change. So to what extent, that may vary across collections. That said, your repository usage statistics are certainly going to be more accurate and reliable going forward. We will regularly update the crawler robots list in the repository so that it continues to be aligned with the list managed by Project Counter. And I want to just call out Nick Woodward and Nick Lowland from our staff for implementing this fix on our hosted repositories, and you can contact us if you have any questions about it. And finally, before I hand it over to Leah, I wanted to provide you with an update on Courtney's behalf on our year-long planning grant funded by the Institute of Museum and Library Services to explore the feasibility of a distributed digital preservation service for private and sensitive data. Just before the holiday break, on Friday, December 6th, we invited our project partners on this grant to a stakeholder meeting here in Austin. Those stakeholders and meeting participants are pictured here on the slide. We had representatives from the Texas Advanced Computing Center, the UNT Health Science Center, UT Libraries, Lyrasis, Northeastern University, Johns Hopkins, San Diego Supercomputing Center, several of our members, including Texas State, UT Southwestern Medical Center, and I mentioned UT Libraries and UNT Health Science Center. So what we did at this meeting was broke into small groups to discuss use cases in which various private and sensitive data should be preserved in a distributed network, as well as some of the perceived barriers to doing so. And each group reported out, we summarized, sorted, and prioritized the findings, and then we reviewed where and what kinds of agreements are in place for existing digital preservation networks like Chronopolis and AP Trust. Finally, we worked in small groups again to outline components of a service model for such a service, including technical infrastructure components, governance, stakeholders, and potential cost models. Next up, our wonderful GRA who's working on this project with us, Hassam Andalib, who is pictured there on the far left, will follow up on the information gathered during the in-person meeting and complete his exploration of current and future technical service and cost models. Courtney is also working closely with Security Metrics, which is a IT security and compliance consulting firm. We've been working with someone there named Jen Stone to determine changes to current documentation and networks that would facilitate DDP for private and sensitive data. And we'll begin drafting a final report of the team's findings this spring. We're really excited. This was a great meeting, very engaged group of people that represented both academic libraries, archives, advanced academic computing, and supercomputing. And we really had fruitful and interesting discussions that raised a lot of good questions for us to explore. And I appreciate Courtney's leadership on this, as well as our partner at UC San Diego Libraries, Sybil Schaefer, who worked really hard on this meeting. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Leah to give us an update on our OER services and then some community updates. Leah?
Hey, thanks, Kristi. Hi, everyone. This is Leah DeForest, the Communications Manager with Texas Digital Library. We recently learned of some changes that Pressbooks announced to membership levels that will affect our discount options. So just so you know, the Pressbooks EDU Gold plan is discontinued. It's no longer available to new subscribers. So TDL regular members are still eligible for 30% off the Pressbooks EDU Silver plans and can also receive a 30% discount when purchasing Pressbooks FTE price LTI add-on to Silver through December 1st of 2020. That LTI add-on piece has, it stands for something that I cannot remember at the moment, but what it means is that you're paying for a plug-in to your learning management system. So if you have any questions, whether you're interested in a membership or you've already signed on and taken advantage of this discount, but you want to know more about this change, please go ahead and email Pressbooks, or you can email us at info@tdl.org, and I'll connect you with the Pressbooks rep. So now we're going to move into some community updates, starting with an exciting TCDL announcement from Alex Suarez. So take it away, Alex.
Thanks, Leah. Good morning, everyone. This is Alex Suarez, the Conference Planner and Administrative Associate for TDL. I am super excited to share an update with you about our upcoming Leadership Academy. So TDL's Leadership Academy aims to help you build necessary tools for leading at all levels of the library and cultivate a cohort of learners who seek a professional community for growth by improving your skills in communication, conflict management, negotiation, self-awareness, and time management. We are thrilled to welcome facilitators from the Maintainers, Breaking Library Silos, and the Texas After Violence Project. You can learn more on our website by following the link in the slide here, and everyone is welcome to attend. Early bird registration ends on April 8th, 2020, and discounted registration is available for TDL members and students. Bundled registration discounts for TCDL and Leadership Academy, but it's important to keep in mind that seats are limited and it is first come, first serve. I also want to thank our Leadership Academy subcommittee, which includes Marcia McIntosh from UNT, who's also this year's TCDL Planning Chair, Taylor Fairweather Leach from West Texas A&M University, Jarrell Jones of the University of Houston, John Crosno of UT Southwestern Medical Center, and Subcommittee Chair Ramona Holmes of UNT Health Science Center. And with that, I'll hand things off to Shannon Willis of UNT, who will discuss the launch of a new and exciting TDL group.
Hey, thanks, Alex. Hello, everyone. This is Shannon Willis. I'm the Digital Projects Lab Manager at UNT Libraries, and some fellow TDL members and I have launched a new group, the TDL Imaging Group, open to all non-commercial parties in the region who would like to learn about, contribute to, or discuss digital imaging and digitization best practices. The catalyst for this group was actually a Birds of a Feather meeting at TCDL 2019. And from that meeting, we recognized the need to connect regional practitioners working in digitization of cultural heritage materials. The group's founding members are Marcia McIntosh, the digital production librarian at UNT, Derek Rankins, formerly at UT, and now he has his own company, and of course myself. But now we have a much larger planning group, and the mission of the group is to create and exchange information on both basic and advanced imaging, in addition to establishing an open and inclusive environment for the exchange of information regionally. The group is focusing on developing the following services and initiatives: establishing an online community, coordinating regional meetings, events, and lab tours, providing training and resources on digitization best practices, and supporting research in the field of imaging. And we will be having our first regional meeting on March 9th and 10th in Houston. So look for promotion and registration for that event sometime next week. And if you are interested in joining the TDL Imaging Group or know somebody who wants to join, please subscribe to our listserv to get involved. There is a link on the TDL website. Now I'll hand things back to Leah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Shannon. We are very excited to see all the great things that our new imaging group accomplishes this year and in years to come. And so speaking of new opportunities, we would like to pass along this job posting from our friends from the San Antonio African American Community Archive and Museum. The SACAM Museum Director is a new position and will provide administrative, fundraising, and research expertise to this exciting startup African American Digital Archive and Museum. If you visit the link on the slide, you can get more information and see how to apply. And as you can see in the URL, that link goes to an Indeed site. So this is a great group. Courtney introduced TDL to them, and we're really excited to have them in our circle. And for this last bit of the forum, I just want to list out a bunch of reminders. Just everybody got back from break and we need to get our heads back on straight. And so we have a bunch of events and deadlines and other important dates coming up that we just want to make sure that you do not miss. So first off, our next Topics in Research Data Management webinar is next month. We have a new webinar on February 20th at 11 a.m. This is with Make Data Count. And presenter Daniela Lowenberg is the Research Data Specialist and Product Manager at California Digital Library. We'll have 2 more libraries following up in this series, including a Data Curation Network Primer in March, and a webinar with Sebastian Karcher of the Qualitative Data Repository in April. A big thank you goes out to Jessica Trelogan of UT Austin Libraries and the Texas Data Repository Steering Committee for leading this series reboot, and she has brought us some amazing speakers. Also to remind all of you that our January DSpace user group is at a different day than usual. The next meeting is Tuesday at 10 a.m. TDL's very own Nick Woodward will discuss his recent work on a bpress to DSpace migration. Anyone is welcome to join this. You need not be a TDL member, so if you have colleagues at other institutions in other locations across the states, across the world, please invite them to join. You can join the listserv if you follow the link on the slide or email me if you're interested, and I can also send you a calendar reminder for those meetings. Another DSpace reminder is our incredible DSpace Training and Education Group, which some of you I see have on the list of participants have benefited greatly from their work. Our DSpace Training and Education Group is comprised of members who train other members on DSpace, starting with beginners, intermediate, and we're even looking at how to train at the expert level. We are looking for some volunteers to join this group. Users at all levels are welcome and invited to join the group, and that includes your student workers. You just have to be a member with TDL to join, and if you're interested, email us at info@tdl.org, and I'll make sure you're connected with Susan Elkins and Joseph Pruitt, who are leading that group. And then, I know you saw this slide earlier, but I do want to take a minute to reiterate Kristi's reminders to submit your proposal to TCDL and nominate a person, a project, and/or yourself for a TDL award. And please don't be shy about forwarding on these invitations to your networks. If you aren't receiving notifications of these via email, email me or Alex, and we'll make sure you have that information at your fingertips. If you go to the awards link, you'll see that last year we had some pretty amazing and interesting winners who broadened our community to some different players, and I think that that was extremely exciting for all of us at TDL, and I hope for all of you who got to see them at the awards ceremony. So, and then of course, our CFP is open and will close next week, and we want to see as many proposals as possible come in. And again, if you have any questions with that, go ahead and email me or Alex, and we'll help you figure out what to do next. And a last reminder, last 2 reminders. We have a member visit survey, and so this is our survey that we want to get your feedback on our visit to your campus last year. Anyone is welcome to take this survey, unlike the member institution survey, which is really just one voice per institution. If you met with us at your campus last year and you have some feedback to share, either suggestions for improvement or positive feedback, we really would like you to take this survey, and we'll incorporate that feedback as we move forward to plan surveys in the future. And also, we have a member forum survey. That's a survey about this monthly event. This is ongoing. You can take it more than once. And again, all of this, all of your feedback is really vital to helping us improve our outreach at all levels. We're always ready to listen to your ideas, and you can follow up through taking these surveys, or you can always email us at info@tdl.org. And then before I hand it off to Kristi, we had an exciting announcement that we learned about this morning. The South Central States Fedora Users Group, which I think we lovingly call SCSFUG or SCSFUG, they're having an event at the end of this month in Houston. All are welcome and invited, and I'm pasting a link to that event landing page in the chat box. So if you have questions, I would say review that information on that link, and there's probably a way to follow up with questions there. If you are really stuck and you want to know more, please do email me or email us at info@tdl.org. Okay, that's it for me. I'll now hand it off to Kristi.
Okay, thanks, Leah. And thanks to Shannon and Alex for those updates as well. We do have a couple minutes left in the hour for questions. If you have them, you can enter them into the chat window, and we'll do our best. Joy asks for the Texas Data Repository webinar. Is that focused for libraries or for faculty?
I can see that question. Joy, I think, but I don't have an answer for you. And we have reached out to get a bit of an idea of what that presentation is going to be about. And so this is actually a perfect question to help us reach back out again to them and find out. And so stay tuned, and hopefully I think you're on that list already, and so we will send out a reminder and have that promotional information available to you. So good question, thank you. It would be more useful if it was for faculty. Okay, you know what? Good to know. So, and that also means we need a little more lead time to make sure that we can get this promotion out. So thanks, Joy. This is really good to know.
And Alexa asks for the TCDL call for proposals. Is the shorter abstract to be published and the extended abstract is what will be used to consider proposals? I believe that is correct, but I'm going to turn to Leah to confirm that as well. Or to Alex.
That's a really good question. Yeah, and Alex, please chime in if I'm misspeaking. But yes, the shorter abstract is going to help us promote sessions, and it's just really useful for at a glance. But yes, the extended abstract is going to deliver all that rich information that the planning committee will then take to decide who's selected to present. And as you get in there and work in our abstract management platform, if you have any questions or something isn't working right, please do email me and Alex, and we'll make sure to get it straightened out.
Okay, any final questions? Well, we're right at 11 a.m., so we will wrap it up for today. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you again same time next month. Have a wonderful start to your semester, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.